What's cooking, everybody? Good day to be alive. Good day to bet on sports. Good day to be in the jungle. Say hello if you're with me. Who's here today? We got a lot to cover. A lot to cover. Who's with me? I missed doing the show over the weekend, man. This is fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking, guys. So come on in, say hello. We're going to get started in a minute. We're going to start with our weekend recap. The weekend was wild in the jungle in terms of results. A tale of 2 days. Come on and say hi. Don't be shy now. Who's with us? We have 9 NBA games today. We're going to take a look at most of them. We have Ravens Chargers taking a deep dive into that. There's a lot to get to in that game. I'm excited to talk to you guys about that. But first, let's start with our weekend recap. And college football absolutely slammed for us on Saturday and was a big part of our success. Now, for the weekend, we were up a total of 1.2 units, but the way we got there was pretty strange, pretty unique. Saturday, we were 11-3 and up 7.4 units. Sunday, we were 5-10 and down 6.2 units. But that's why I always preach bankroll management because it's very easy. If you have a day like we had on Saturday of 7.4 units, it's very easy to take that money, try and roll it over. But no, you take the win, you move on. Now, Sunday, as I said, we didn't do well on Sunday. We were down 6.2 units. It's easy to try and chase your losses, but we didn't do that. So up 7.4 units Saturday, down 6.2 on Sunday, staying with the system, staying with the program. We ended up plus 1.2 units for the weekend. Today, Chargers and Ravens. And I covered some of this in the video that I sent out today, so I apologize if it's redundant to those of you who are loyal to the channel and saw my video earlier also. But there's a lot to talk about in this game, man. There's a lot. First of all, when teams play, it's very easy to take a look at get logo blind, as I say. And an example of that is in college basketball, you see the North Carolina logo or the Duke logo, and you think that's the team to take. That's the side to take. You have a certain preconception of what those teams are and how they're going to play. And that's true, especially of the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. And when you hear Baltimore Ravens, you think great defense, tough, physical. Well, that's not the case this year. And I want to present to you 2 different teams, Team A and Team B. And I'm going to tell you defensive stats for each team. And you know where I'm going with this, but this is really interesting. Take a look at this. Between the Ravens and the Chargers, defensively, points allowed this season. Team A, 14.5. Team B, 24.6. It's a huge difference, almost 100%. Yards allowed per game. Team A, 317. Team B, 362. Turnover differential. Team A, +8. Team B, +2. First downs allowed. Team A, 175. Team B, 233. Third down conversion percentage allowed. Big one here. Team A, 32.3%. Team B, 44.4%. Team A is the Chargers. Team B is the Ravens. It's a different brand of football they're playing with Jim Harbaugh. Some people call it the Harbaugh Bowl. I don't think the coaches matter as much as people think, but they are playing a different brand of football under Jim Harbaugh. And what's very interesting about this game, and if you follow me, you know that I'm a big fan of understanding line movement. In fact, those that make money betting on sports do it by understanding line movement, do it by understanding the market and using the market, using the public to make good, educated bets. This line opened up at 3 +3 for the Chargers. There's a website called thespread.com. It's one of the ones that I use to monitor line movement, and it's up to change. It updates every 10 minutes. And what it does is it's synced into every single sports book that there is, and it accumulates all the data. So the spread.com is the most accurate site to determine where the public is on a certain play every day. So according to the spread.com this morning, 67% of people I'm sorry, 63% of people were on the Ravens. Yet, the spread moved into to the Charger side to 2 plus 2.5 for the Chargers from 3. Now, ordinarily, and you hear me say this very often, ordinarily, when that much of the public is on a side, the books will tilt the other way because what happens is the books try and even out the action and they collect on the VIG, they collect on the juice. That's not the case here. And the times when this happens, more often than not, that's the side that you want to be on. So here we have a situation where the public's all over one side, yet the line moves toward the other team. So I absolutely love the Chargers today. No, I got it on +3. My Jungle members got it for +3 for a great price of -120. We were early to the punch. I'd still take it at 2.5, but try and find a 3 if you can. Try and get a 3 out there. I talk about different sports books, Rebet and Fliff, are books that not a lot of people know much about, but they're great sports books. They're legit. Any sports book I recommend. For myself, what I do is I deposit money and withdraw it just to make sure that you can get your money out right away. It's good. So Rebet +3 -120 for the Chargers. I try and get that 3, but I absolutely love the Chargers even for +2.5 today. Another prop that I like, Justin Herbert to not throw an interception. So it's under 0.5 INTs plus money. Pinnacle has it for minus money. So Pinnacle has the juice on the under. Here we're getting good value on the over, +110 on DraftKings currently. He's thrown 1 interception all season. Herbert's thrown only 1 pick in 10 games against the worst pass defense in the NFL today. Baltimore's got the worst pass defense in the NFL. Herbert to not throw an interception. Ball control. That's the way they play now. And he's good with the football. He's a smart quarterback. I think he's the most underrated QB in the league. Herbert to not throw a pick. I also like the under here. I talked earlier about line movement, understanding the market, and understanding line movement. This opened up at 47.5. Now it's 50.5. The public has given us a field goal. I like the under, man. I love the under today at 50.5. Getting 3 points from the public. I don't think the books were that off with their initial line. The books are never that off with their initial line. So the books are saying, now the books know more than the public, right? They spend billions of dollars setting these lines. The book said 47.5 is the way to be. Public pushes up to 50.5. I will certainly side with the books here. The public looks at the Ravens offense and can't get enough of it. And I think because the Ravens offense is so potent that this is a recipe for the game to go over, but the defense gets paid too. And 90%, 9 out of 10 of the Chargers games this year have been to the under. So I do like the under 50.5. Try and get that number today. I know 51 is a key number, but I'm happy with my 50, under my 50.5. Trust the books. You know, when everyone and their mother is on a side, man, trust it. Trust that. That's just kind of surface stuff. It's superficial stuff. You generally want to be on the other side of that coin. So I got the Chargers +3. I got the under 50.5, and I got Herbert to not throw interceptions. I never parlay. Those are all straight bets. Here's some other interesting trends, player props for this game that I thought that you might find interesting. Derrick Henry has a touchdown in 12 straight games. Will that continue today against a great defense? It's probably not a bad bet, but the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Too pricey for me. The under has hit. I talked about 9 of the last 10 for the Chargers, but the under has also hit in 19 of the Chargers' last 25 games. Again, another reason to love the under today. Quentin Johnson, wide receiver for the Chargers. He's been under his line of 37.5 receiving yards today in 10 of his last 12 games. Will the Chargers have to open it up? Will these numbers stay true? Will he stay under for me? For us. J.K. Dobbins, longest rush. I like these props recently. Yesterday, I hit Jahmyr Gibbs, longest rush over 15.5 yards. J.K. Dobbins, 11.5 is his line for his longest rush. Over this in 9 of his last 10. Will he break one against the Ravens? Lamar Jackson, over 1.5 passing touchdowns in 4 of his last 5 games. Will he throw 2 against the Chargers? Best defense in the NFL, in my opinion, and statistically. Can't debate the stats. And Justin Herbert, under 34.5 pass attempts, has hit in 9 of his last 11 games. 35 passes is a lot for a Chargers offense. That's a lot for Justin Herbert. If the game goes the way the public thinks it's going to go, he's not going to be under this. But if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, he will be. Any questions, guys, on the game tonight? Chargers, Ravens. That's what we're cooking up for the NFL. I like what we got today, man. I like all three of those bets. The goal's to hit 2 of them. As always, with Jungle Members plays, with the way I bet, the way I recommend betting, is you have a unit size. That's your standard bet. Your unit size should be roughly 1.5 to 2% of your bankroll. Some cappers recommend 1%. I'm a little more aggressive. I do 2% myself. I recommend 1.5 to 2% because it's nice to see a little bit of bump in the bankroll. And each bet, so I stay between the parameters of odds being minus 130 and plus 130. I live there, okay? And I either bet a unit or bet to win a unit. If it's a plus money play, like plus 110, like the Herbert under interceptions I have, I'll bet 1 unit, right? So that 1 would win 1.1 because it's plus 110. If it's a minus 110, I bet 1.1 units. So to make the math easy, if your unit size is $10, you bet 11 because you're betting to win a unit. So live within between minus 130 and plus 130. Bet either a unit or either to win a unit every single play. And the goal is to hit 55%. If you hit 55% and you do that, bet to win the unit or bet a unit and live between plus 130 and minus 130, you will be profitable. You will be part of the 3% of us that are making money long-term betting on sports. I promise you. On to the NBA. Let's go over my 3 favorite plays for the day. I have a video out there earlier. I like James Harden today, the Clippers. He's playing the Celtics. I like him under 23.5 points. Drew Holiday has caused him absolute fits. Drew Holiday, one of the best defenders in the association. He played Drew Holiday twice last year. With Drew Holiday's first year on the Celtics, Harden had 11 points and 9 points, was extremely frustrated. I like Harden today to stay under that number. Go Harden under 23.5 points. You can get this for minus 120 over on BetMGM. I think it's playable up to minus 130. He's also been under this in 8 of his last 10 games. That doesn't hurt either. James Harden under 23.5. Same game. I like Derek White. I like him over 15.5 points, just minus 115. On DraftKings, Pinnacle has it at minus 135. So we're getting great EV against the sharpest sports book that there is. Over this in 71% of games this season, he shoots the bejesus out of the ball, taking 10 3-pointers a game, more than anyone on the Celtics, tied with Jason Tatum. But he pops him out. Derek White over 15.5 points. And I like the Joker today. The Joker is getting sick of the Nuggets not winning as much as they were, not getting respect. He's been scoring a ton more recently. What's interesting when you dive into the props bets with the Joker, points, rebounds, assists, any combination of such, points and assists, points and rebounds, rebounds and assists. The one that hits the most for the Joker is points plus assists by far. I'm on that today. Over 37.5 points plus assists. He's over this in 83% of games this season, only been under 36 once. So he's at least 36 every time except for 1 this season. Take the Joker over 36 or 37.5 points plus assists. Going to go through some games here and talk to you about some interesting trends for props within each one of these NBA games today. Magic and Hornets. Josh Green of the Hornets over 2.5 first quarter points in 5 straight games. Pretty good stat there. Same guy, same game. Josh Green also under 4.5 rebounds, 14 of his last 16 home games. Shoots more at home than he does crash the boards. So we're looking at Josh Green over 2.5 first quarter points and Josh Green under 4.5 rebounds. Again, not parlaying, both straight bets. Franz Wagner. Now, I know his stats have been off the chart with Paulo Banchero out, but listen to this. Franz Wagner, under 6.5 assists, under this in 17 of his last 19 road games. Here's another one for you. Orlando Magic, 3 in 15 their last 18 road games. 3-15. The Magic's last 18 road games without Banchero, too, they have going on. Charlotte Hornets plus 180 on the money line. Is it worth it? I want to know. You going to take that? Let me know. I haven't yet, but I'm thinking about it. Pelicans and Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton under 3.5 rebounds in 7 of his last 8 games. Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans 0-7 in their last 7 road games. 0-9 against the spread in their last 9 road games. Trey Murphy has been under his assist line, under 2.5 assists in 9 of his last 11 games against top 10 defenses, of which the Pacers are one. Raptors and Pistons. Cade Cunningham is a game time decision. My guess is he won't play. If he does play, it'll probably be 20 minutes. Oh, Danny, you got your silverback hat on. I like it, brother. So my boy Danny has a silverback hat that he got. He wears it during the show. So Raptors and Pistons. Cade Cunningham is a game time decision. I don't think he's going to play. If he does, it'll be minimal. Scotty Barnes on the Raptor side. He's been over his line of 5.5 assists in his last 5 games. He's been back 3 games, and he's been over this in those last 3 games, even with a little bit of downgraded minute time because he's coming back from an injury. He should be back to full minutes today. My boy Jalen Duren has been under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 7 of his last 8 games. Why is that? Well, he gets into foul trouble all the time. He can't keep his hands to himself whatsoever. He's one of my favorite players, but foul trouble has hindered him. Now, Bickerstaff has limited his minutes. Last year, he played about 27.5 minutes a game. This year, he's down in the 22s because Bickerstaff is trying to keep him focused for a shorter amount of time. It's been helping the foul trouble a little bit, but it has taken away from his numbers. I think he's a good under today. Jalen Duren under 24.5 PRA. Jaden Ivey has been under his PRA line, points, rebounds, and assists, that is, in 15 of his last 18 home games. Now, listen to this. His line is at 30.5. His average at home for PRA, his last 18 games, is 24.1. He's averaging 6 less points, rebounds, and assists at home his last 18 games. That's a pretty good sample size than what his line is today. And although Toronto does give up a lot of points, Jaden Ivey is tough to back on the ceiling end. He hits his basement more than he does his ceiling, and in terms of props. Even without Cade Cunningham. Without Cade Cunningham, it's even worse. He's been under this even more. He's been over it even less because he feels the need to do more. So Jaden Ivey is a good fade today, under 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I hate to say it, the Pistons are my favorite team, but I think that the Raptors are a very good money line bet today. They're plus 180 right now on ESPN Bet on the money line against my Pistons. Pinnacle has it at plus 169, so we're getting 11 points against the sharpest sports book that there is. But I think that I took it myself. I think the Raptors money line today, plus 180, is certainly worth the risk against a Pistons team that might not have Cade Cunningham. They'll be, if he doesn't play, they'll be relying upon the 3 with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley the entire game. I think the Raptors can take that away a little bit. It's great to have Scotty Barnes back for them. Him and RJ Barrett are a tough combination to deal with. And I think Portal in the middle is going to give Duren a hard time and get him in foul trouble. Take the Raptors. Plus 180. I think it's playable up to plus 165. Hawks and the Mavericks. Here we go. Hawks and Mavs. The over has hit in 14 of the Hawks' last 16 home games. Trae Young has been under his points and assist line. Now remember, with Trae Young, you never know what's going to happen with him. He's either shooting a ton or he's not shooting at all. So it's tough to back him in terms of points. In fact, I never do. The only thing I back is assists, but it's too high today. It's too heavy at 11.5. So Trae Young has been under 34.5 points and assists in 6 straight games against top 10 defenses, of which the Mavericks are one. Now, Luka's out, but that doesn't hurt their defense. That helps it because Luka doesn't play a lick of goddamn defense. So Trae Young, I like him under 34.5 points and assists today. Blazers versus Grizzlies is interesting. Ja Morant should come back. He's game time decision, but my sources say he's going to play. If he does, it'll be a limited role. But the Grizzlies are interesting. They have a winning record this year with Desmond Bane back and Ja Morant back. Scottie Pippen playing well. Jaren Jackson Jr. They're a tough team. They're going to be tough to deal with. The Blazers are fun to watch too. Looks like Scoot Henderson's going to be out. Anthony Simons is overrated, but they have Jeremy Grant. They have Shaden Sharp, who's underrated. Um, they have Tumani Kamara, who's been playing fantastic at the center position, and Drayton, since Drayton's been out. So the Blazers are interesting. I like Shaden Sharp today, over 19.5 points. I think that's a good play. But the over in terms of the Grizzlies games, right? Grizzlies aren't playing despite Jaren Jackson Jr. being one of the best defensive players in the league. When Ja Morant's on the court, it's an up and down pace, and teams' possessions get bumped up to 3.5 to 4 more possessions a game than usual because the pace that Ja pushes over when Ja's playing. 4 of the last 5 Grizzlies games have gone over. So I like the over today in Memphis, Portland. I think that 10.5 is too many points to give the Blazers. They can score. I think it's too many for the Grizzlies to lay. So I like the Blazers today too, plus 10.5. I think Shaden Sharp and Jeremy Grant will take them in the game. Simons is overrated, but I think he'll pop some threes when he has to keep them in the game. Knicks and Nuggets, we talked about. I like the Joker today, over 37.5 points and assists over this in 83% this season. But here's some other things that have been hit in those games. Michael Porter Jr., over 20.5 points and assists over this in 10 of his last 11 games. Also, his rebound prop is sitting there at 5.5. He's been over that most of the year, too. But the juice isn't worth the squeeze to me. It's minus 140. Remember, I've been staying between that minus 130 and plus 130 sweet spot. The over has hit in 6 straight Denver Nuggets home games. They're playing a little bit tougher lately. Jamal Murray, I don't know what's going on with his hair. He looks like a hobo, but he's been scoring a little bit. He's been shooting a little more. It hurts them. Definitely hurts them having Aaron Gordon out. But Chris Brown's been playing really well. I'm 3 for 3 on his props so far. His points line's gone up from 10.5. It's crept all the way up to 13.5 over the last 5 games because he's scoring like crazy. I'd stay away. 13.5 is a little bit high for me today, but he's someone to keep an eye on as the season goes on, no matter who's in the lineup for the Nuggets. Nets and Warriors. Cam Thomas, under 3.5 rebounds in 11 of his last 13 games, especially with Dennis Schroeder out. He's going to have a little more point guard responsibility, so he's not near the basket as much. He's popping those threes. Cam Thomas is another guy who's hard to bet on. It's all flipping a coin with a 50-50 chance because he's either bombing away making them or bombing away missing them, but you never know which side he's going to be on. So that's our NBA slate for today. Any questions, guys, on the NBA? Anything you're betting, you're considering betting, you want to ask me about, now's the chance. Fire away. Danny, you got something? I really like the Chargers tonight. You know, my Chargers are my favorite team in the NFL, so it's nice when the numbers look like that for me to bet on. But the Celtics and Pistons are my favorite basketball teams, and you see them on the Raptors side against the Pistons. So I bet with my head, not my heart, every single time. It's the only way to do it. Sharon Stokes, Clint Capella under 13.5 points and assists. Cam Thomas under. I love Cam Thomas under. Podol under 25.5 points and rebounds. And she has Zubac over 25.5 points and rebounds. So let's take a look at these. Capella under 13.5 points and assists. Thomas, I love the Thomas under, Sharon. I really, really do. Jacob Poeltl on a back-to-back is kind of tough with the 25.5 points and rebounds. I'm more likely to take his rebounds in this game because I think that Jalen Duren's going to get in foul trouble, Sharon. And he'll be out there against Beef Stew, who is really easy to agitate. He can get in foul trouble too. So I think Porter can get under their skin a little bit. His points, you know, he's been tough around the rim, in terms of shooting percentage. So I don't love that. Your picks are very good, very educated. So you know, I'm not going to be on the other side of it and say no. Zubac against the Celtics, over 25.5 points and rebounds. Porzingis is back tonight. You know that? First game, Porzingis is back. Of course, he won't get a lot of work, but I think that might affect Zubac rebounds a little bit because Porzingis plays in the perimeter. He's not a typical big man that stays down low. So that means that Zubac will have to come out to the three-point line to defend him, out to mid-range to defend him, and he's going to be away from where the rebounds come. So I wouldn't so much look at Zubac rebounds with as rose-colored glasses as you are, Sharon. That's just something to consider. Any other questions, guys? Any other bets you're considering making today that you want me to love or hate? We got time for one more question. Anyone got something? NCAA basketball look, Greg. So I had I had one earlier, and Jungle members got it. It was a 12 o'clock game. We had Ball State plus 3.5, and then went outright. So that's the only NBA play I had today so far. Nothing else looks good to me than college basketball today, Greg. But so we're 1-0. Jungle members are 1-0. Become a Jungle member, silverbackjungle.com. Everything gets texted to your phone every single morning. Till we're out with everything by like 7:30 in the morning. Plays went out, and we sent some plays out last night too. We have a Discord with the members. As I take them, I put them in the Discord so people take advantage of the lines. Cool. Any other questions, guys, before we pop off? Be back tomorrow, same time, 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate everything. I'll see you tomorrow. A little more money in your pocket.